What's going on, everybody? Today we are going to be painting number 2 here. This is the wooden glide bait I've been working on all last week, and it's finally time to throw down some paint on it. I do have a hunch that this is going to be a little heavier than what I was wanting. My buddy Matt had requested a slightly heavier glide bait anyway, so I asked him what color he would like this bait to be. He said, "Zach, I know it's a boring color for a video, but I'd really like a bone yellow one." And to that I say, challenge accepted. Can we make a all bone colored bait look cool? So that's what we're going to be attempting today. First color I'm going to be doing is going to be an opaque base coat of white, and we're going to cover the entire bait, and I'm probably going to do two layers of white or so to cover up the wood, which really the wood's almost kind of a bone color anyways. But I'm going to try something I haven't tried before on this bait since it is a test one. So if it screws up and looks ugly, no big deal. If it looks awesome and doesn't work, a bummer, but at least it'll look good on my shelf. All right, here we go with the base coat of opaque white. With our base coat done, it is time to mix up a custom bone color. I wanted to show this to you guys in case you're trying to match this color that I'm doing today. I have, well, that's a, oh, I know why. Hold on a second here. There we go. Half an ounce of opaque white loaded up. That way, if you're trying to do this at home, and then for myself in the future, I'll be able to replicate this color if I want to. Now I'm going to come in with some bismuth yellow, and we're going to add, I think, about 20 to 30 drops of it into our white. Okay, so 40 drops of bismuth yellow. I'm gonna do a couple drops of tropical green. I think I'm gonna go for 5. Oh, I need to shake that up. All right, sticking with 3 drops of the green. And then I want it to be a warmer bone color. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of our peach. I'm gonna add 5 drops of peach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm gonna mix this all up and see where it gets us. Alright, not too bad looking. I do think I want it to be a little bit warmer, so I might add a couple drops of bright red. Let's go for 2 and see what that does. So it still looks really yellow, so I'm hoping the red will kind of warm it up just a hair. Oh boy. I don't think I needed that much red. Oh, actually, folks, I think that's what I wanted right there. Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna keep stirring this, make sure I got it mixed very, very well. So now we got a very warm bone yellow, or bone. I'm digging it. Very happy with how that looks, if you guys can see that. I'm gonna load some of this up in the airbrush, and then we'll give the whole bait a nice layer or 2 in that. Alright, now that our base coat of the bone is done, my idea is to add a drop of black to our mixture we got going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a drop of black in here. And hopefully that makes this a little bit of a darker without totally messing up this color here. I'm going to go ahead and go for another drop. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and spray some of this through the airbrush on there, and we'll see how that's looking, if you can tell the difference or not. And if not, we'll come back in and add a little bit more. The game plan for our darker mixture here is to go ahead and hit it up around the gill plate and the eyes, and then I'm going to do the back of the bait. There is a center line. I don't know if you guys can see that. I do have a center line that's running down the side of the bait, so I'm going to try not to go past that. And I'm going to go ahead and use the same darker color we have here and kind of darken up our fin just a little bit. And then my sponge, I got something all over it. So had stuff was sticking to my last bait I painted. So I'm going to just use this little black piece of foam. If you're new here, I do that so I don't scratch the bait on the surface, and then taking it off the helping hands allows me to be able to hold my stencil on there a little bit better. And back to the mixing cup, I'm going to add another drop of black, actually 2 drops, and we'll keep going and just see what happens. After seeing this color on top of that other bone, I think if you wanted to keep it like a true bone color, you'd probably have to mix some of your other colors back in there with it to make it darker, whereas this kind of feels like it's turning it into like a gray bone, which, I don't know, that might be the cool thing, or might be what I'm looking for. I don't really know, other than I've wanted to try this before. If you took the same color and kept adding black to it, could you get it to be dark on the back without looking too goofy? And at the moment, I'm liking the way it's looking, so we'll just keep going and see what happens. I'm gonna go ahead and add one more drop. Okay, coming in with the darker color, I'm going to just kind of keep it up here towards the top. This is really hard for my eyes to tell where I'm spraying. I do like it though. It looks pretty cool. Let's go ahead and make this pretty dark. I'm gonna add 5 more drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna go even a little darker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 10 drops altogether from our last version of this color that we've done. All right, I do want to be careful with this color, so I'm going to keep it just on the back of the bait, and then we'll come in and do some detail work on the gill plate and everything. I was actually expecting that to be a lot darker, so I guess we'll go in again, add some more black. Thanks for hanging in there with me, folks, while I try out this experiment. I think we're going to go add probably 20 more drops, 15 to 20, because I do want there to be a pretty big difference here. All right, I'm going to go more, so that's 15. All right, we're gonna roll with whatever this turns out. So we really just ended up with a weird looking gray, so that's interesting. But I guess if a majority of the other color was white, and then you mix a bunch of black, that makes sense. All right, back onto our soft little bed we got here, and then I'm gonna go back in and we're gonna darken up around the gill plate. I got a couple different shapes of stencils here. I really just need to cut this exact shape out, which I thought I had, but I couldn't find it. So we're just gonna do a little section at a time here and see if there's a difference, or if I'll need to break out just straight black. Ah, there we are. All right. I think I can work with this, guys. I don't know about you guys, but I think I should probably cut some stencils that fit this. I think it would make it a lot easier to do here. Okay, not too bad looking. I think it's time to go in with our shad dot, which I'm gonna go for this pretty crazy shaped one, the biggest one I got. All right, I don't know what to think at the moment, to tell you folks the truth. I am glad I tried this, but at the moment, I both love it and hate it. I really want to do some more black. I do think I need to try to fade this a little bit better. There we go, not such a sharp line there. So the idea was to not go solid black on any of the bait, to keep it light, which we got that. I think what I might do is I'm gonna let this dry, and then we'll come back in and do, I forget what they call it, but where you let the paint go down the grooves and then you wipe it off the top. I think that's what we're gonna do, because right now it still looks pretty boring to me. So I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'll give me a little bit of time to think about it, see what we got to do to make this bait pop a little bit more. Okay, so it has actually been a couple of hours. What we're going to do next is I'm going to take our bone color black mixture we got going on here, and we're going to take a paintbrush. I really want to enhance all the scales and everything that's on there. So in order to do that, I'm going to take our color, brush it on, and then we're going to use a paper towel and wipe it back off. I'm only going to do a little section at a time. Hopefully it'll keep our bone texture, or I'm sorry, our bone color there, but then the grooves of the scales where it got lasered engraved will become darker. I think it's going to really make the bait look kind of grungy, which I'm totally cool with, because right now it's kind of boring as is. So at least this way we should get some more of our detail back. Now, before doing this earlier, I did go ahead and spray the bait with a gloss top coat, and I let it dry for a couple of hours. That way the paint kind of should hopefully wipe off the top easier. So paper towel in hand and paintbrush on the ready. I'm going to start here at the back, and we'll give it a little try here and see how this goes. I'm just going to do a little bitty section at a time. And that's perfect. So we should get that cool scale pattern most of the way. There's a couple spots I sanded a little too far. Again, this bait's a test bait, so I'm not trying to get it perfect. Just trying to make it look cool. So that already looks way cooler. Pretty cool compared to that. I like it. All right. I love it now. Got a couple little... Pretty cool looking, folks. And that's kind of a cool looking bait. It has some natural look to it. And when that clear coat goes on, it should make everything be a little bit more saturated or vibrant looking. I do need to go make some eyes. So I'm going to try to make some eyes. That kind of match the vibe here. So I'll be right back, and then we can get the eyes glued in place and see what it looks like. All right, I got some eyes made here, and what this is made out of is some veneer wood. So the bottom part is bird's eye maple, and the top is smoked eucalyptus, if I said that right. It's a big word for Zach. And I just cut them out on the laser and then glued them together. I got a couple bubbles down inside there. I really should have sealed the wood before I put the UV resin on there. But again, this is a test bait and I'm not too worried about it. So kind of cool. Some other another project I'm wanting to work on is make some really crazy looking eyes. So I was wanting to test that on this one, and it seemed like it worked. So now we can do layers of a couple different exotic woods. You can also paint them too. I just cut the piece out. This one I think I wrapped in like fish tape to get the silver and then painted over top of it, but those just felt too bold for this paint job. And wanted to test out the wood, so kind of cool. Some strange wood for the eyes for a wooden bait. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these glued in here. It also looks really dark because I had that light turned off. There we go. A little more light. Well, that's a big eye. And there we have it, folks. I do have to finish shaping the tail a little bit, make it a little bit skinnier to fit in the back of there better. Once the final shots are done, I am going to take the bait out and do a test swim, so stick around to see that. Again, I think this bait's going to be a little bit heavier than what I was wanting, but Matt did say he wanted a heavier bait because he's fishing a little bit deeper water. So regardless, I think this bait will catch some fish, and eventually, once we have a fish photo, I will post that on my Instagram. So if you guys are not following me over there, go and check that out and be on the lookout for that post. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Of course it's raining by the time I get out here to test this. Hopefully you guys can see it. I do think I'm going to move that weight a little bit more. Kind of seems like it's still wanting to come up whenever I glide it. But I'm also not the best fisherman with giant baits. Try to burn it here. That looks pretty good. All right, well, I think I know what I'm going to do on the next one. And then, like I said, I'm going to give this bait to Matt, so whenever I meet up with him, we'll try to get some better underwater shots, or maybe actually go fishing with it. Oh boy. Well, I would say it works. Look at that. Anybody that says you're gonna really catch a fish on that size of bait, the answer is yes. I was not expecting to catch one down here. Well, there we go, folks. I think that's the best way I could possibly end this video. Nice little fish on the Clyde. It scared me. I was not expecting that. Oh, that's funny. All right. I will see you guys in the next video.